there we go.
Didn't I have mine backwards the other
Jonah
day?
Baker.
Yeah.
And Mariela Rosas. I'm totally bastardizing your name.
It's fine.
Say it.
Mariela Rosas. That's like the proper pronunciation, but Mariela is fine.
Hey, Mariela.
Mariela.
Mariela. Okay. Yeah, I'm terrible. So I was just asking you, like, how you figure out the topics for your podcast.
Yeah, so just have like a list of them beforehand because there's a lot of interesting stuff in science. So from that, just already picked up, like little stories here and there. There's always like crazy stories. So from there, kind of do like a little preliminary, like Google on them, and then figure out what's interesting or what's the story worth telling, and then also like stuff will come from that. Like there's a little side story that happened. They'll be like, oh, that's another cool topic. Yeah.
So it's just stuff that you're running across?
Kind of. I mean, from school, because I studied molecular biology. So from there, like, in our lesson plans, I guess, in our curriculum, you're learning the history of science here and there.
Right.
So there's always like crazy things that happen. I'm like, I want to know more about that. And that's kind of where that springs from.
I like to yell in her ear a lot.
Like what?
To yell topics in her ear a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cross my fingers and hope one of them sticks,
Right.
So, yeah.
So what's been like the favorite one? I know you told me your favorite one not too long ago.
Well, so before my favorite one was episode 5. It was about PCR because I'm just learning about PCR right now. And that's what I'm doing is
polymerase chain
reaction. That's right.
Okay.
And, just copying thousands of DNA strands and using those DNA strands to detect like potentially harmful bacteria that could be growing in food. Mm-hmm. And so like that was my favorite episode. It's just real goofy. It hits home. It's very informative. Right. But then we just got done doing one that I think is just fun. It's about Jack Parsons.
Okay. Who's he?
Rocket guy. He an original Rocketeer.
He was one of the founders of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
Oh,
so
okay.
he was like one of the very first guys who thought, hey, we can use rockets to propel spaceships. And this was at a time where like they thought you can't do that. That doesn't work because back then rockets was just like firecrackers.
Right. So was this like 30s or something?
Yeah, 20s, 30s.
40s.
Right.
And then he got involved with, Aleister Crowley and,
L.
Ron Hubbard was there, fire demons, and tried to summon a new messiah through sex magic.
Cult, yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of fun stuff, Yeah. And so, little rich boy.
So you guys just
going
get
poor.
into the whole like nitty gritty of Jack Parsons, or
Yeah. So we like followed like his life from like when he was a little kid, like what his parents were doing in like 1914 to when he was trying to summon demons in his bedroom. And then also kind of delve into a little bit of the science that he was doing, like the jet fuel that he developed that previously hadn't been made and how that revolutionized rocketry. So it's like you delve into like the lives of the scientists, but also like, kind of explain what they did.
Right. Yeah. I've just been, I don't know. Somehow YouTube has been taking me down this rabbit hole of after World War II. Was it World War II?
Yeah, they poached
and they got all the scientists from Germany and shit, and a lot of Nazis developed our technology.
That's Nazis got us to the moon.
Yeah,
I heard.
or did they?
Well, we know Kubrick faked the moon landing.
Right. You know what I think?
I think it's real.
I think it was a mix.
That he was.
I think they filmed like a bunch of stuff just in case, but then they actually got to the moon.
Yeah, I believe they got to the moon. Yeah.
But I don't know. The only footage that's left is you can find it on YouTube or on the internet, and it's shitty. And there's weird angles, and like the lighting is just, it's questionable, dude. I don't know.
Well, like the joke is that Kubrick was such a perfectionist that he wanted to film on location.
Oh, right. Right, there you go.
Yeah. So.
Right. And then when they took off, it blew over the flag.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They set the flag because they were scared. Well, the first time they got there, they didn't want them walking too far away from the lander. And so they put it sort of close, and then when they took off, it blew the flag over. So you can't go looking for that.
Yeah, it's buried now.
So, so you're a molecular biologist.
That's what I studied, yeah.
Yeah. And so what got you into doing a podcast?
So I actually only really recently started listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of had this idea. Well, then I started looking for a podcast that I wanted to listen to that was like science history, but I couldn't find anything that really fit what I wanted. So if you don't find what you want, you make it, right?
Right, of course.
So it's like, what? I mean, it's not that hard to make a podcast nowadays. Like, you just need, a mic, a computer, and there's a lot of like different programs that, enable you to just, launch a podcast. You don't need like a whole network behind you.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey.
You do need a little bit. I got to make it all complicated by adding like cameras and all this kind of other stuff.
Well, yeah, but like this is all cool.
Right.
But also like, you can just put it out there. So then I was like, hey, Jonah, do you want to do a podcast with me? Right. And then that's how that started.
And you guys work together? Or?
Yes.
Yeah. Right on.
I work one day and I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. Just to be the thing to do.
There's more excitement, but
yeah. Well, that's cool. So what's your favorite podcast that you've done so far?
Ooh, I think I still really like the PCR episode just because you kind of get to delve into Kerry Mullis. He's the one who who invented it. I mean, there was stuff before him that kind of...
PCR, explain that to me. What the hell is
that? It's the polymerase chain reaction. So basically... you have a segment of DNA. Okay. I'm hoping, like DNA, and you can already, like, it's self-replicating DNA. So PCR is basically harnessing the technology, the mechanism that's already exists in the cell, but we're mechanizing it. So you're taking a polymerase, a bunch of like little pieces, and then you're just making a copy of a specific segment of DNA, and then that way, by adding like fluorescent tags and stuff like that, you're able to detect, salmonella DNA, listeria DNA, HIV DNA, or even do genetic fingerprinting.
HIV has DNA?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a virus.
Viruses.
Yep.
Viruses?
Yep.
That's like, viruses just fucking trip me out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like a virus basically is a protein shell with like DNA or RNA, just nucleic acid material inside. That's how it replicates, and that's all it is. And they're crazy.
And it's not alive.
It's technically not alive, no.
And it's just
it hijacks your cells and
all right.
Yeah.
It's like a glitch. It's a chemical glitch, right?
Kind of. Yeah, you can describe it like that. I picture it more like a piece of code that comes in and takes over your computer. Right. Yeah.
Well, I've seen this thing recently where they use viruses to trace back a common ancestors of different animals.
Okay.
And so they can see the virus in the DNA.
Yeah.
And then trace it all the way back to where the same virus affected the same two organisms or whatever.
That's badass.
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard. I mean, I'm an idiot trying to understand this stuff, dude.
Well, like the thing about viruses is like there's some viruses like retroviruses like HIV that will inject their genetic material into your own genome. So that's going to stay with you forever. And even the human genome has, a litany of viral DNA that does nothing for us, really. It's just there because, an ancient virus infected, a caveman, and now, Jonah has ancient viral DNA in his
Ooga booga, ooga booga.
Right.
Yeah, and that's how you're able to do that trace back.
Right, that's very cool. And then what else? What else was I gonna? Oh yeah, corn is more evolved than humans.
You can't really say that. I mean, because when you're thinking about evolution, you're fit to your environment, your specific niche.
Right.
Like we humans are fit because we change our surroundings so we can, adapt to anything. But corn, or kind of like how we've made corn, is specific for its niche, its, specific environment.
But it has more DNA than the human.
But doesn't necessarily make you more evolved.
Right.
It just means you have, more DNA.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means either. Like more DNA.
Just,
that's not more evolved.
That's not more evolved.
Well, they just have to sit
Think
there
of it
and chill. They don't really have to do anything to survive.
Like bacteria probably doesn't have a lot of DNA. All that does is just fucking eating shit.
Right.
Humans have a little bit more DNA, and all we do is just eating shit. So
And talk shit.
we talk a lot of shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And talk a lot of shit.
That's where we have evolved.
Most of our genome has evolved to talking shit.
There you go.
I know, right? The pinnacle of evolution is Donald Trump.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, the mechanism for evolution is breeding advantage. Any sort of, whether it's, whatever thing that helps me reproduce more than the other guy, I'm going to pass on the genes. So, really, the evolution of man is in fact idiocracy. Well, it has to be because poor, uneducated people have more children than wealthy, educated people. So we are slowly evolving into stupidity. So what's the answer?
Didn't they make a movie about that?
Yeah, it's called Idiocracy.
Oh, okay. There you go.
It is.
Yeah, it's great. I forgot who the character is. Anyway, I watch it every once in a while just to remind myself that it's real. Idiocracy is real, man.
See it every day.
Right. So what are you guys working on next?
So next, we are going to be delving into the discovery of the rabies vaccine.
Rabies?
It was by Louis Pasteur, very famous bacteriologist.
Right.
And there's a bit of... every instance in, a lot of instances in science, there's times where ethics isn't very much, involved in the process.
Dogs getting hurt.
A lot of dogs getting hurt.
Oh, yeah? What do they do to the dogs?
So rabies grows in the neurons and neuronal cells. Okay. So back in the day, we didn't have a form of having cell lines that you can just, infect. So what they would do is they would drill holes into dogs' heads and then infect the dogs like that.
Right.
And obviously, dogs aren't going to, rabies is a deadly virus.
Right.
Left untreated, it's 100% mortality. And for dogs, at the time, they didn't care.
No. Nobody really cared about the dogs back then.
No.
But so they got better ways of figuring all that shit out now.
Now we do.
Right?
Now we have, molecular.
And that's one of the most badass, interesting things about our show is all these people discovering shit that we take for granted. That it's just every day to us.
Right.
Sometimes I'll learn what the show is a week before and just get hooked myself learning because I kind of like to go for the ride. Right. And most of the time I'm learning as Mariela is explaining it, trying to add a little humor here and there the best I can, or some questions for some of us who might not be as smart as Mariela. And that's the one thing I've noticed is a lot of this stuff that we take for granted that we do in our everyday lives. And this is the discovery of it and the crazy stories that go along with it that a lot of people don't know, but it's out there,
Right.
It's neat.
Yeah, most of our lives is science these days. There's science all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can just do a little bit of geometry.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, just my profession. I don't have to do a lot of high calculations and all that, so I'm not as smart as I used to be.
Yeah, but science does fall into everything. Every hookup that you did right here is amazing. The setup that you have here, and that's all science.
Yeah.
If you break it down,
Well, I don't know how much science there is in here. A lot of luck. There's a lot of luck. I would hope that.
Well, there was a lot that went into creating just that computer, or even just developing the electricity that's lighting this room.
Right.
So
Developing one of the chips that's in there, just one single diode. Like,
Yeah.
Because I am an electrician, so I did study electrical theory and all that, and it's how they came up with that stuff is super interesting.
That's way beyond even my knowledge.
I don't want to explain electrical theory right now, but it goes around a circle.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. You put in electrons here, and they get used up over here. Right back.
Electrons in. You take electrons out.
You put them all in and shake them all about.
And now we know.
So, what do you guys think about Mandela effect?
Oh man, I love it.
We love it.
It's so crazy.
Was it Berenstain Bears or Berenstein Bears?
So, what do you remember?
Berenstein.
With the EI.
With the EI.
Totally, but it's not that.
I know.
Right?
I kind of didn't care.
Huh?
Kind of didn't care.
What about the Berenstain?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really care about it, dude. It was just something that it was a thing that I remembered.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't really too Berenstain Bears fan, but I was like, that's a big one, dude.
EI.
And then
it's called the
For me-
Mandela effect.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, go for it.
It's called the Mandela effect because people remember, Nelson Mandela dying in prison.
Right.
But he didn't. He became the president of South Africa.
Right. And see that one, I kind of remember him being released from prison, But if I weren't really forced to think about it, or I don't know. I kind of have both memories.
The one that affects me is the Sinbad one.
Sinbad, that
That one drives me crazy.
I remember the Sinbad movie, the genie movie. Yeah,
right. I swear I've seen it.
And then there's even pictures of him in a genie.
In a genie outfit. Yeah.
No, dude, the one that the Battle of New York.
Battle of New York.
Right.
Battle of New York. That
Sounds
one
familiar.
I'm not familiar with.
Okay, so what do you know about? What's it? World War II?
World War II?
No, World War II. That was they bombed. The Japanese bombed us. That was pretty cut and dry, right? So World War One. How did we enter World War One?
The sinking of the Lusitania.
Exactly. But no, it was a fucking bombing. We were attacked in New York. It was the bombing in New York, dude. They blew up a bunch of fucking ships, and the Lusitania was like
That was
months apart. I know, it was fucking weird, dude.
I don't.
Yeah, there's this. It's called The History Guy.
Okay.
And he does like these 5-10 minute things of like little known history.
Okay.
And one of his videos was the bombing of New York.
That seems so bizarre.
It was like the War of New York or something like that. But yeah, they blew up a bunch of ships in New York Harbor, and that's why you can't go up in the torch in the Statue of Liberty anymore.
How?
Because it fucked up the Statue of Liberty.
Damn.
And then there's people that remember going up into the Statue of Liberty torch.
But you can't.
But the weirdest thing is that I'm like the sinking of the Lusitania.
Yeah,
that was what
that's
got
what
us in. But that's not what this story says. It says it was this Battle of New York.
Yeah.
Well, I know that I want to say like World War II, like there was like a pseudo invasion of America where German operatives were dropped off by submarine, but it was like this whole what are those the three Stooges kind of thing.
Oh, right.
Where everything just went wrong and they just, started drinking and partying and didn't actually do what they were supposed to do. But
oh, yeah, this is probably going to bring up fucking 9/11. Shit. I was trying to look up and see if I could find it.
And then there's the moments that, like, you wonder, did you see that or not? Maybe something crazy's happening or something like that.
Well, it's just like the melding of the multiverse.
Yeah.
Like the membranes in the multiverse are coming together and you're just swapping memories with your alternate reality.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the best explanation that I've heard for the causing of the Mandela effect was CERN.
Of course.
Was
Right?
what?
Well, CERN, they're saying that colliding the particles creates mini black holes.
Oh, okay.
And so that is having effect on the time continuum, or because there was like a time where CERN failed. The first test was a failure, and so that test, when it failed, it split the universe in two.
Okay.
Or our part of the universe.
I wonder what the other me is like.
Like very straight laced, clean shaven.
Huh.
Right.
The ladies' man.
No beard.
I know.
Oh man, yeah. See, these are his like videos right here. I mean, it's just got all kinds of. I can't remember. It's fuck. He does so many. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, but he does very cool stories. 3 a.m. call in the 1979 NORAD alert. Norwegian rocket incident, which almost started a fucking World War III.
I think I remember something like that.
There's been a lot of those incidents.
Oh, yeah. It's so scary. Yeah. What's scary is that fucking there's missing nuclear missiles after the collapse of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, and, missing weaponized smallpox. And anthrax.
They got them in a safe. Don't worry, they're safe.
I mean...
They're in a black market somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, what are you going to do with weaponized smallpox?
Release it into a susceptible city.
I know. Like, why does that dude always got to go get on an airplane as soon as he gets the fucking super contagious, virus or whatever? Let's just go to a major
it's
airport.
Like, I need to travel across the world right now in a small container in the middle of the air.
It's always that guy.
Yep.
Right. And then Ebola. I remember Ebola when I was a kid. And then like how it became a thing now recently. It's like,
because now that's because now we're in like the midst of like major epidemics of it, whereas before like something like Ebola just burns itself out really quickly. Like this is like the first time 2013, 2014, like that outbreak was like the biggest one of Ebola because it reached a major city. And Ebola is scary because
it's not terribly contagious.
And that's why it was so crazy that it spread so much and there was so many people infected.
Well, it's just people uneducated, you know what I mean? With how to keep clean. I just don't think it would be that bad in America. Well, we'd quarantine the shit out of that person.
Yeah. Well, just how when the like nurse and doctor who were coming back, how they were just completely sequestered, and even in outbreak events here in the U.S. We contained it very well because we do have those protocols here and the infrastructure to kind of handle that kind of stuff. Whereas, somewhere like Sierra Leone, you don't really have that, or you don't have the expertise behind that, or like the funding behind that, which, and you get like densely populated cities and not a really good public health infrastructure. And then you get this like massive disease of like,
plus that one asshole who gets on the plane.
Right.
He's out there, he gets on a plane and bam.
But he has to like spit on somebody or like cut himself and drip it in their eye, And like, Although last time I went on a plane, I was the last person on the plane. Like as I was running to the plane, they were like, "Oh, last call for," I was like, "Oh shit, I'm that guy." So I'm like running, I'm like, "Hold the gate." And they're like, "Oh, we're waiting." And so I get on the plane, and I'm literally the last person on the plane. So everyone's like got their seat thing, Everyone's got the, window space. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to have to sit in the middle somewhere, you know what I mean? So I'm like looking down the plane, and I'm looking for the people who are like trying to avoid eye contact the most. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm coming. And I start pointing to this couple, and I was like, oh, man, it was a huge mistake because next time I'll ask if they're a couple. And if they're a couple, I'm going to make them sit together. Would you sit together, please? Because they were handing like gummy bears to each other and shit. Hey, you want some gummy bear? I'm like, oh, fuck. And I got hella sick when I got home, dude.
Oh, man.
Those people got me so sick.
That sucks.
Yeah. It was fun while it lasted, though. Totally bothering the shit out of them. Yeah, last time I'll ever go Southwest, too, for sure.
Jeez.
I know.
Last 2 times I've been on a plane, I've just been very drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never been drunk on a plane.
Oh,
Yeah, last time I
great.
was on a plane, I wasn't old enough to drink.
Oh, okay.
No? How old are you now?
I'm 26.
Oh, all right. Youngster.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
In a different universe, I'm older. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
You have blonde hair.
I have blonde hair.
So
My
funny.
name's Mary Ellen.
Mary.
Mary Ellen. There you go. That's funny. So I couldn't find that video, but it's yeah. Anyway, that's one of the Mandela effects.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't the Lusitania. And then the Star Wars one is pretty good.
The Star Wars, yeah. I've heard about that one.
Yeah, because he says, no,
Yeah.
I'm your father.
Yeah.
He used to say, Luke, I'm your father.
I wonder if that's because of Tommy Boy. That's why I started saying Luke, I'm your father, because of Tommy Boy.
Really?
Yeah, remember when that scene with the fan? He's like, la, 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 Luke, I am your father. And I just always loved that scene so much, I started saying it myself. And maybe I believed it, or maybe a black hole made me believe it.
I think I asked Carlos about that, because he's like the most Star Wars guy that I know. And I'm pretty sure he responded the right way.
I think I seen it. I think it was on TV not too long ago, and that's how it was.
What, Luke?
No.
Or no?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was just laughing.
Well, memory is kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like, your brain is filling in a lot of information of what you're actually seeing and doing.
Well, it's making up most of it, really.
Oh, yeah.
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 So, I mean, you get like, it'll only pick up like a little bit here and there, and then it'll just fill in the blanks for itself.
Right.
That's why, sometimes you think you saw something, and then turns out it's something completely different.
Have you ever seen Brain Games? It's a TV show called
Oh,
Brain
yeah,
Games.
yeah. Is
Right.
that like Discovery Channel? Or
I don't know. I watch everything
Science
on
Channel
the
or
internet.
something?
Something
Yeah.
like that. But they had this one where the guy was like, you look right here. And it was like across the field or something. But you're focusing here, right? And then we're going to have these two girls come in and you tell me which is the good-looking one. And some of them were men.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but he was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were picking the good-looking and the not-so-good-looking ones.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Wow.
And there's like that other one where it's like they tell you count how many times the ball's being passed in like this like court, and then in the middle of it it's like a man in a bear suit like walking across, and it's like, oh, but did you see the guy in the bear suit?
Right.
I'm like, no.
The only reason why I got that one on that particular, because I had seen that trick before, and then like once you watch a couple episodes, you're looking.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck that ball. Fuck that ball. What's going on? I'm looking in the background, and this fucking dude in a bear suit walks by. I'm like, I
see you, bear
yeah,
man.
you can't get me. I'm always just. But yeah, like at rest, I'm fucked. You could totally trick me.
Yeah.
Except for the line thing. Have you seen that where they'll put like ropes in the middle of a mall and they'll have one person stand in line and then people start getting in line behind that person?
Oh, no.
Yeah, and
I would
they're just
never fall
like,
for that.
They're like, why are you standing in line? They're like, I don't know. It's just, there's a line here, so, we're going to see what happens, and there's like all these people standing in line for no reason.
Oh,
I've
sheeple.
never fallen for the running one either.
The what?
The running one,
That-
where people just start running, so you just start running.
Those are funny though.
Yeah, those are funny.
like
I
you're
wouldn't fall for it, though.
You're telling me that if you're walking down the street and then some guy just like runs up to you and he's like, run, they're coming, you're not going to take off running?
Nope.
You're going to be the guy who dies in the zombie
I
movie.
guarantee I wouldn't be.
No, zombies?
I would totally live.
No, I would live in a zombie movie.
Yeah.
Right. As long as it's not 28 days later.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like
those
there's
are
a
the
zombie
crazy
horde
zombies.
coming at you. Are you going to run?
Oh yeah.
Well, you could just walk
once I
fast.
once I see it.
If it's a zombie
then it's
horde,
a
you
different
could.
story. But there's some guy running. Okay, well, maybe he's got to go feed grandma or something, you know. But like,
But he like grabs you and he's like, run.
okay, maybe he's crazy.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
But once I see those zombies, I'll be right with him, running like,
Like,
hey,
oh,
man,
shit.
thank you for warning me. You're great.
I would just walk.
Yeah.
I'd walk quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want to maintain my cardio. Wouldn't want to run too fast and get all tired and shit, you know. So you just want to walk swiftly because they're zombies.
Yeah.
Now, if they're 28 days later zombies and they're
Mhm.
running, they're crazy, spitting blood, and
Yeah, biting before they even get to you.
yeah. I'm
Like
just
the
like,
World War Z zombies.
Oh man.
I hate
Oh,
that movie.
I'm
That movie
sick
is
enough. Don't leave me alone.
Yeah, the book was bad.
Well, really, I've never read the book.
Yeah, it was by Max Brooks, which is Mel Brooks' son. So that's who wrote World War Z. And there was one zombie survival guide. He wrote that as well.
Oh, I think I heard about that.
I've read that one, and like he tries to explain zombieism, like why they're zombies, and he like gets it down to a molecule and shit. And I'm just like, nope.
Magic.
It has to be a blood thing, right? How else would you revive a dead person and with them still being dead? I mean, it would have to be a blood thing, right?
Well, you just have to get the.
The heart pumping.
Yeah, but
Because you need blood for muscles to move.
It's a T virus.
The T virus?
Yeah.
What I mean, how would that even work,
I
though?
don't know.
You don't know?
it hijacks the machinery in the cell. Because you also need like those proton channels to be pumping for you to be able to like extend and like flex and actually move. But I mean, if they're working at half capacity or like not very well, that would explain like the shambling around and.
Yeah. Do you think it could be controlled by the brain still?
Well, there are like those zombie, funguses that take control of like ants, and they'll make them like walk up like a blade of grass. So then when they die, like the spores shoot out.
Right.
So it can be something like
so
that.
with that theory, all you would need is like a convulsion, like a,
Well, I mean, they always
Get
say
the
that,
heart
you
going.
take out the head or the brain.
Yeah.
And that kills a zombie. But, I mean, if you took out the heart and the blood couldn't pump, it would be
That's
just
true.
as effective.
Why do they want brains?
Very few movies. There's only 2 zombie movies
They're doing
that
that?
actually say brains.
Oh, man.
I mean, 9 out of 10 zombies prefer flesh
Mhm.
to
Okay.
actual brains.
More protein there.
Yeah, I mean,
Some
how
over
they're going
there.
to pry open a head with their bony, dead fingers?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So they're just going to go for the outside stuff.
The easily accessible soft tissue stuff.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's those rare entrees,
What is that? Night of the Creeps or something?
something like that.
No. Was that Night of the Creeps?
I don't know.
Sarah would know.
Yeah,
Sarah would know. That'd be funny if that was Sarah.
I know, huh? Especially with the answer.
Right,
That'd be
right.
great. I just remember
Just
seeing
in
a
case.
movie.
No, it's my son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, anyway, so what was the next podcast you guys are working on?
Rabies.
Oh,
Rabies.
rabies.
Yeah.
Which
Nice.
kind of relates
Cujo.
to zombies.
Oh, yeah, it does.
So I think, wasn't
Uh,
like the rage virus, rabies, like
I think it
altered
was something.
rabies? Yeah. Because rabies turns you zombie-esque.
Yeah.
Does it?
Well, yeah, it like it attacks like your neurons, so that's why they get like the convulsions, the salivating, and eventually you die because it gets to your brain.
Right.
I thought I had rabies one time.
What?
I thought I had rabies one
You
time.
thought you had rabies?
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you ever been vaccinated for rabies? It sucks.
Oh no.
Don't they have to do like all
They
the
have to-
crazy in your stomach kind of shots? They still got to do that?
So when I had it, because I got bit by a feral cat,
Oh, shit.
I had to do like 3 separate shots, but it was just
the arm?
intramuscular. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Those old things where they got to
Mhm.
shoot you in their stomach?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 6, and they got to get like a bunch of them done.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a
3 shots. That wouldn't be too bad.
chipmunk, and it bit the shit out of me.
What were
So,
you
yeah.
fucking with the chipmunk for?
It was my chipmunk. I saved him. I was like
Oh.
raising him and stuff, and and then one day he
Where
just.
did you get a chipmunk from? It wasn't a squirrel?
Remember when I was working at the zoo?
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
and one day I just found a little baby chipmunk on the floor, and some cats were creeping up on it, like, that looks good, and so I just like picked it up and like nursed it back and kept it, and then
On
one
the
day,
floor where?
oh, just in the grass.
Like at the zoo or what?
Yeah, on the
Oh.
outside of the zoo while walking home one day. Yeah,
Whoa, weird.
So kept them, put them in the backyard, let them live out there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then that's how he shows his appreciation.
yeah. How
By
rude, huh?
biting you.
Yeah.
He's like, how about some rabies, bitch?
Yeah.
Thanks for the ride, lady.
Yeah. Turns out I didn't have rabies.
No.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
it's
not
good.
all animals have rabies.
Yeah.
It's
How-
rare,
Is
but
it?
it is. You can find it in California,
Yeah.
in chipmunks, in squirrels.
Right. Well, how do dogs even get rabies?
Usually, like
Bats,
some sort of
chipmunks,
woodland
squirrels,
creature.
Yeah.
Bats, not as much.
Really?
I think, especially like in this region, it's more like chipmunks, squirrels, raccoons.
Raccoons.
Mice, maybe.
Mhm.
Rodents.
Mice? Do mice get rabies?
Mhm.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a mammal
Mice have all
disease.
kinds of
A whole
nasty.
full-on mammal disease?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then do they get all crazy the same way humans do? and
Yeah,
shit?
I mean, it
No.
affects like every animal, basically, every mammal, basically the same way. It just gets to your brain,
Right.
and then that's where, because it's also transmitted through the salivary glands.
Right.
So that's why where the biting comes in, it makes you want to bite and chew.
And
Whoa.
foam.
Have
Yeah.
you seen Cujo?
Yeah,
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
that was horrifying. Because when I saw it, I was little, and one of the movies that I watched at the time was like Beethoven, the big,
Oh,
the
right,
cuddly
right,
dog,
right.
and I'm like, oh yeah, and then Cujo's like this monster rabied out dog, and I'm like, it ruined dogs for me.
That ruined every animal ever for me. Because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not going to touch anything ever again.
Yeah.
I mean, can't you get it from dead animals too, right?
You can.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't touch dead animals or
Yeah.
anything. That's why you poke them with a stick,
Yeah.
you know?
That was me.
Yeah,
Poking
don't
with
eat
the stick.
roadkill.
Pick him up and throw it at someone.
Oh, God. Don't eat roadkill.
There's like some states in the U.S. that they have like a roadkill stew called burgoo, and they like just find stuff on the road and then mix it together into a stew, and then they eat that. And I think California recently passed a bill where you can
I
eat
know.
roadkill.
I know people back in the day who would take a BB gun or a pellet gun and shoot fucking pigeons and squirrels around here and eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there used to be a pigeon called the carrier pigeon.
Yep,
Which does not exist anymore.
that'd be a really good topic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
would
They
be.
they hunted it, but there was like a carrier pigeon season, and they'd get all out. Let's boom boom. They blow the shit out of some carrier pigeons, but they would eat grasses and grains and stuff like that. So they were actually a decent bird to eat.
Don't they do that with doves now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, but
No, doves reproduce like crazy.
Yes, they
aren't
do.
they like pigeons too, though?
They look
'Cause
like
they're
They're
smaller
like
pigeons.
nicer looking pigeons.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's
You can do
There's
magic
a
with them.
like if you look at pigeons, there's all kinds of different.
Mhm.
There's like the grouper things, and like they're all super ornate and with these feathers and
That's awesome.
yeah. My friend's dad raises show pigeons.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, and
That's
I'm
really
just
cool.
like,
Didn't realize that was a thing.
yeah, I know. I'm just like, dude, they're just rats. But I like rats more than pigeons.
I do too.
Rats
Rats are
that
awesome.
look like little
Yeah.
weird creatures. They almost have like hands.
Mhm. A lot of the rats are neat. A lot of the aspects of their life is like loving. They need another rat involved.
Mhm.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like really neat. It's beautiful almost.
Have you seen the Utopia experiment?
No.
No, with the rats. Have you heard of that?
No.
They built this big ass thing. They did it a couple times, but
Okay.
they built this big ass enclosure, different levels, different areas for food and stuff like that, and they put some rats in there. and then just observe their behavior. And then, like, yeah, it would just, there'd be the dominant rat, and he would sort of punk all the other male rats, you know, and so they couldn't just leave. And so they, like, started developing all this crazy behavior and, like, actually acting like girls, you know?
Really? It's like a coping mechanism. Okay.
Yeah, and there was just, like, all these different cliques that would sort of develop, you know? And it was, yeah, they did. The first time it was, like, super disastrous. So they tried it again and tried to change some of the variables. And, yeah, it just, you got to watch, like, the videos on it or something. I'm not very good at explaining it, but they just
check it out.
put,
Yeah.
they just build this big ass. It's supposed to be a utopia for mice.
Okay.
But they can't. You can't do it, you know, because of, you know, there's just too many animals in one spot. Yeah, and they let it go for a long ass time. Like, it's a years long experiment. Oh.
I'll check that out. I like stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like I said, I always go down these rabbit holes. You know, once I go on the history guide, then you go to, you know.
Yeah.
Like YouTube will just keep, like, giving you different suggestions. It's just that algorithm.
Yeah, I was watching a video today on how they were manipulating the algorithm. Yeah. And there's, like, there's these websites that you can put in your script, and they'll just put images to it, and it's just talking in a computer voice. But they do it, like, a bunch of times, and it's the same script over and over again, but they, like, use different pictures and use a different voice, and they're just farming for YouTube cash, trying to get clicks, and then a lot of it's the fake news stuff.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And so they're trying to, the two main motivations are money and dissent. They're trying to get us to argue. I don't know. I don't know much about politics, man. I try to stay out of it. They're not messing with me. I don't mess with them.
I know they just want us separated. Keep us hating each other, you know? That's all I see.
I don't know, though. I think it just happens.
You think so?
I mean,
like those rats?
Yeah, just like the rats.
We're like the big rat experiment.
Yeah.
You know, some, like, sentient alien force, like, put us all together. We're like little rats. And then this is their utopia project.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more like the united bureaucracy of America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all... Yeah, I don't think one dude knows what the next dude's doing. And for a bunch of people to get, like, all together for, like, a huge conspiracy...
Oh,
yeah.
You can't keep... People can't keep fucking secrets, dude.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like... Yeah, I mean, people would be... I don't know. I'm thinking of Roswell. And, like, a bunch of people snitched on Roswell. You know, they're like, oh, yeah, you know. But how do you know? How do you know what's true or not?
And, like, that's where something like the flat earthers, like, their ideology falls completely flat.
Right.
It's just okay, taking, you know, aside all, like, the scientific knowledge that we have, that the earth is round and the ways that we can prove it, just the whole concept that you can get, like, nations together to keep up this charade of, like, the earth being flat, it just doesn't make sense. Like, that's, like, the biggest thing that just doesn't make sense. Because, I mean, you can't even get people to agree on, like, what Chinese food they want.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a big conspiracy that everyone's trying to hide the fact that the world is flat. I mean, wouldn't the sun just go... Like, wouldn't you be able to just see the sun all the time?
No, because it goes underneath.
Yeah.
So the sun is round, but we're flat?
Yeah, exactly. Everything else
is
round.
It's a hologram up there, dude.
There you go. It's a Truman Show.
Have
you seen the Truman Show?
Yeah.
Right?
That'd be kind of cool.
That would not be cool. But
not if you're Truman.
Well, yeah.
Not if you're...
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. People watching you all the time?
You wouldn't know.
Your wife's an actress?
You wouldn't know.
What happens when you find out?
See, that's the part that I like right there.
What's that?
The part where you find out. You know, and it's just this whole new world of, like, craziness and possibilities. And that's what's the best part about it. You know?
I don't know. I would be pissed if people were watching me.
Yeah.
They would have stopped watching a lot. I'd do some gross things. They'd be like, "Oh God, let's change the channel." No
People
more.
are into gross shit.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. They're like, "Hey, let's watch that Mark channel again."
He does that thing I like.
Yeah. Oh man.
Look, he's doing it again.
Look, he's doing it again.
They
That's
have
the
like
5th time today. Jesus
they have
Christ, dude.
little alarms set up for whenever you do certain things. It's
Right.
like it won't stop.
Oh man. No, I would hope they would like provided me with a better script than this. I mean, Jesus, dude.
Oh, my script's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, wouldn't it be
like it.
shitty if like you had like a really great life, like you were like a super wealthy like CEO, billionaire or something, and then suddenly you find out that no, you're not.
No, you're not. Yeah.
And then like once you find out they take everything away from you,
Well,
That would suck.
that would suck.
That would suck. I would not be happy with
No.
Don't take my shit.
Oh, let's
They're
go
just like,
season
all
2.
right.
Come on, season
Yeah.
2.
Season 2 did
You're
not
all-
get renewed.
Yeah, right. They're like, nope, you're the homeless guy now.
Man,
Like bye.
Hollywood has been. Didn't even know it.
Right? So do you think there's going to be enough jobs to support people forever?
Oh, there's not enough jobs right now.
Yeah.
I know. And then Amazon.
They're just eventually going to employ everybody.
Well, no, if you've seen a video or anything of the Amazon warehouse,
Mhm.
it's
They got
all robots.
Robot hands.
Mhm.
doing
It's
it,
all
yeah.
robots.
Well, you
And
need
so-
people to operate the robots.
but you need a whole lot less people,
That's true.
you know.
I want those robots in my house.
You can get those robots in your house. It's called Alexa.
All right.
Yeah, well, I mean, shoot, with enough money, you can get anything in your house.
Yeah.
It's true.
You know. But, yeah, I don't know. They're talking about automating trucks now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that not only takes jobs away from truckers, but all the people that worked in the hotels and restaurants and
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those
Yeah.
Motel 6s.
I know.
hey, man, that's jobs. It's a
Yeah.
job. Somebody, you know,
Someone's got to make those beds.
like if you,
Gotta
Yeah.
clean up that puke.
The pool lady needs to go by and clean the pool, like, which is like another business, and so on and so on. You know.
hell yeah, it goes on and on. You
Yeah.
know, the people that are working on the trucks to keep
Mhm.
them running, you know,
Mhm.
restaurants, gas stations, just
Yeah.
goes on and on. But
Yeah.
yeah, all those people won't have jobs.
Like, I personally, like, this has always been like a crazy conundrum to me or whatever.
Huh.
Like, I can't stand radio. I hate it. Like,
No,
I just
no radio.
Yeah, I feel it's like cheap, and the music's just I don't know, it's too predictable, and
Like popular
Mhm.
radio, right?
yeah,
Not,
like
you
popular
know.
radio. There's some radio, I guess, that's out there that I like, you know.
Well, our
But
rock
then, like,
station here in Merced is playing the same songs that they were
Over
playing
and
when I
over.
was in high school.
I can't stand our station.
Yeah.
Really can't. Like, they're terrible. You know, they really are.
Well, I listen to mumble rap on 105.
There you go.
Yeah, that's basically what I listen to all the time.
And then there was Jack Radio.
Jack. Oh yeah.
Remember Jack Radio?
Mhm.
And that was just a computer. And it was like, okay, you're taking DJ jobs away, you know?
Right.
And I was like, and everything that goes all into that, you know, that's all jobs. And, you know, I've never been against that, but the selection of music was
Pretty
great
good, yeah.
because you can just make a list after list after list. And it was great. It was the first, I felt like radio had meaning once again.
Yeah.
And then it went away, you know. And I always felt like so like indifferent inside, and so like some kind of internal battle. Like, why do I like this so much? Because of the variety, but yet you're taking jobs away from DJs, and you know, like I hella respect the DJ. I love the DJ. You know, I just can't stand like how
I don't know.
mediocre
just a
radio
guy
stations
hitting-
are.
playing music.
It's a great job. It's amazing. You know, like
I guess. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't really. I mean, yeah, it's a job. You know what I mean? And
Exactly,
yeah,
it's
I
a
mean,
job.
every job we
You know?
just. I mean, we're gonna end up like India. You know, they have like 10 guys working one plow.
mhm.
You know, and they just they make like 10 cents a piece for a day, and they do like 10 cents worth of work, and that's all they get.
Yeah.
You know, that's crazy. And they're breeding like crazy over there. They're gonna be I think they probably have more people now than China.
I
that's it.
think they're
close.
still second place.
You think so? Well, we can look that up right now. Oh, wait. We got to use the right controller here. What are we asking?
Most populated country.
Oh, yeah. That was probably an easier way to say that. China. It's been China.
China.
Yeah. 1.3. Man. Let's go for the list. Top 10 countries.
Who gets the silver?
India.
China.
Oh, they're close, man. Only 2 million behind, or 200 million.
200 million.
That's a lot of 200 million is a lot of fucking people.
Well, that's
dude.
like the population of what is that? Indonesia?
Yeah.
All right, wow. Yeah, that's crazy. And then Mexico is number 10, right on. Get in there, Mexico. But look at that. Number 3 is only 282 million.
Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a lot of people.
A lot of people. A big difference.
Now look up like best quality of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be like Norway or some shit.
Yeah, the Scandinavian countries kind of figured it out.
Well, I mean, they're like single nationality. You know what I mean? Most of the people are family, and, you know, there's not a lot of... Oh, no. Olivine? That is actually a word. Highest quality of olivine. Denmark. Boom.
Denmark, yep.
Norway, Switzerland. See?
All of those, wow.
Yeah.
All up there.
Well, Australia, you have to get down in what? Number 4?
Like, highest quality of life for kangaroos.
Well, that list was out of order.
Tarantulas.
Okay.
'Cause,
Canada.
Ooh,
number 1, Canada.
Hmm?
Hey, we're really close to a high quality of living. Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Switzerland, Finland. Yeah. So, yeah, you have to go all the way down to number 6 to get any sort of diversity. Although,
These
you know...
countries are also really cold.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Netherlands, New Zealand.
Germany.
Hey, that's cool. More power to them. I don't know. I don't think America's too bad. I mean, nobody
No.
messes with me. I'm not really too scared to take the trash out at night. You know, although we have a high homeless population here.
We do. I don't know. Like, I live like a king, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
think I
I
live
live
good.
better than kings, actually.
What?
Yeah, like, I mean,
You're not better than a Norway king.
probably
No.
not. You know? Like, well, I mean, like, what I mean is, like, you know, the time and age, you know, the kings that we think of, you know.
Right, right.
I mean,
I still think
We have
they
plumbing,
had really
you
good
know,
food.
we have plumbing and shit like that, you know. Like, I mean, you know, and
Well,
then
they
on
had
top of
people
that,
to wipe their asses for them.
and then on
I
top
don't
of
know, do
that,
they? Somebody's wiping their
I'm
ass
sure
for you.
someone would wipe
Yeah.
the king's ass. I would hope so.
Well, I
He's the
believe
king.
all the HBO series that I watched.
And then, you know, just you know, I got a great job. You know,
But you have to work.
I got a house over my head, and, you know, I don't mind working. You know, I don't want to be a slave. I want time away from work too. You know,
Right.
but I love being productive in anything almost. And then yeah, like so. Always strive for better, of course.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, you can always improve.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like
Like-
the 50s. How like it's actually a little bleak nowadays. Like for people, the wage gap is just
Yeah.
increasing like crazy.
I've lived dirt poor. I lived on the streets.
Right.
I've done all that great shit too and stuff. And so I mean, compared to like how some other people got it, even here at home, compared to other countries and stuff. I live great.
So how did you're working at a lab now?
Yeah.
And how did you get into? Have you just always been in that and just never paid attention, or?
No. You know me. I've never had any goals or ambition to do anything.
Right.
I did like to play music a lot. That I still carry with me. But and you know how it is. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Okay.
And I got in as a temp and a little bitch boy, and I've worked my way up and do a big bitch fit and got hired on. And then after the people I knew left,
Now you're a bitch man.
And so, yeah. And then, so now I'm hired, I get paid good, and I still get treated like a little bitch.
Oh,
so, yeah.
right.
But,
Well, I mean, everyone's nice to you, right?
yeah, no, actually, it's great. I really do like it there a lot. There's one person that does drive me crazy, and that's about it,
Right.
That's every job, though.
Every job, yeah.
Right.
I've learned so much, and believe it or not, just like how, it just hasn't happened to me a whole lot in my life. Music sparked this huge interest in my life, and I wanted to run with it. This lab has sparked a huge interest in science, and I'm running with it. I went back to school. I'm getting my bachelor's in biology,
Right.
and I'm just, I got lucky enough to meet Mariela. We're doing a podcast.
Right.
I get to learn every week with that. It's
And that's how you guys met? Is work together?
Yes.
We work together.
Right on. And how
John.
did you get into that?
Well, I always kind of, since I was really little, my parents used to go to work super early. And so, my mom would get me up at, 5 in the morning, get me ready, and then put me in front of the TV.
Right.
And what I would watch was, Discovery Channel, Animal Planet. So from when I was really little, I was like, I'm going to do science. And then I was lucky enough to have, the opportunity to actually attend college and then study what I wanted, and then get a job afterwards,
Right.
in a field related to what I studied. And right now we do microbiology. It's a
Okay.
little different than molecular, but
And what is it you guys do?
so we do food quality.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so basically we make sure that there's not
They give us a list
pathogens.
of bacteria, dangerous bacteria, and we search for it. See if we can find it in your food.
Oh.
We'll make sure that it's not in already finished products.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So just taking samples and
Mhm.
culturing them.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Waiting for them to.
It's there or it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on to the next batch.
Yep.
Exactly.
Right on. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's very glamorous for the first month or two.
It's
Yeah. It
And
doesn't
then
really
after
sound
that-
glamorous at
food
all.
microbiology.
And then after-
No, I'm just like.
No, I mean if you're into science and stuff, and like how I just stepped into this whole new world,
Right, right.
I mean, I will admit it was very glamour, and then now it's like, okay, I can see, I still to this day I see all the great science behind it, but it's like routine and
But it's
a lot of
necessary,
politics,
though, right?
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's very
Super.
necessary.
Saving
You know,
lives.
yeah, a lot of politics involved and stuff like that.
Yeah,
a lot of regulation also.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
Which is
And,
good because you don't want to be, dying from salmonella or
exactly.
listeria.
You know,
No, or anything.
E. coli,
E.
the
coli.
big three.
I know someone's daughter who got very sick from E. coli and almost
Yeah.
died eating spinach.
Have you heard of Robin Cook?
Robin Cook, the name does sound familiar.
He wrote
Oh,
he's an author and he's a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and he wrote this book called Toxin.
Mm-hmm.
Neat.
Have you read that?
I haven't read it now.
Read it?
No.
Dude, it's basically it starts from the hamburger and how the hamburger is not fully cooked until his daughter eating it until the very end where he
Oh.
has to cut open her chest and her heart melts in his hand from E. coli
Damn.
because he's trying to massage the heart and it just melts in his hand.
Damn.
She just dies, and it's like. And this guy is a doctor, and so it's just fucking horrifying in detail.
Damn,
You
man,
know.
that's crazy.
It is,
So-
yeah.
Our job helps prevent that.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
good. Saving Robin Cook's daughter's life.
And what I've been learning too was with the biology degree, if I get kind of tired of food quality, I'll be able to jump into a few other areas
Mm-hmm.
in biology and science and stuff. There's a lot of different fields in it. And so I always get to, change it up a little bit.
Right. You know what I did the other day? I was trying to. My son is 17 and he's trying to figure out what he's going to do with the rest of his fucking life. You know. What I mean?
Yeah.
So we were running through some options, and he's considering going into the Air Force.
Okay.
And I was just like, well, yeah, if you go in the Air Force, that's a path to working for like SpaceX or NASA, because it's something he really wants to do, And so we went on the SpaceX website, and because I'm like, you don't know what you want to do, so just go to the human resources page and look at what jobs that they're hiring for right now, and then go figure out what that fucking job is and if you would like doing that, and then start working on getting agreed to do that job, So as I'm looking through jobs, I qualify for some of those jobs, because, I got a lot of construction. I'm an electrician, and like as far as the maintenance goes and stuff like that, I could totally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's one job that I was like, dude, I qualify for that right now.
So check this out.
Go to Hawthorne.
Like I said, I do PCR. It sounds super smart. It actually is. I mean, it's amazing. It's fucking genius, one of the guys who taught me has a high school diploma.
Okay.
I mean, anyone can do this, The fun part about it is to learn what's going on. Otherwise, you're just taking something out of a tube and putting it in another tube and then putting it into a machine and then waiting.
Right.
It's like learning what versus why.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's the fun in it, learning what's going on. But yeah, like I said, one of the guys who showed me what I'm doing right now has a high school diploma. Yeah. I mean, people can get these jobs. They're out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, the real trick is the guy who figured out how to do it in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
After that, he's just like, okay, just get a bunch of dudes with high school diplomas.
Show them what they need to do.
Here you go.
And that's pretty much what our podcast is about right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Finding the dude who did it in the fucking first place and then got everyone else involved on it.
Right.
Or whatever the case may be. It's usually a crazy story involved. Right. Some kind of adventure.
Yeah.
It's getting cold in here.
Oh.
So how often are you guys trying to put out content?
So we're trying to shoot for weekly, but obviously because we're people that also need to work and have other lives, sometimes it's
Yeah, some homeless people walking by in the alley.
Yeah. Say hi. I need my sick time.
Yeah,
I get sick for some reason.
Oh, right.
Like since we've gotten this going, I've gotten sick probably like 2 or 3 times and had to
Same.
cancel.
Yeah. Dude, this podcast is just whenever the fuck I feel like it.
Nice.
Well, I don't monetize at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because, I mean, mainly I have a lot of bands come in and play some cover songs and stuff, and I can't.
Okay.
Because the algorithm will shut me down. Which is weird because it's like, it's a cover song. I don't know. How's that supposed to work?
That's what I'm doing right now. I drive out to the Bay Area once a week and play in a cover band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What kind of covers you guys doing?
We do anything really rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the favorite song that you do?
So okay, so
playing
there's
bass?
Playing bass. There's a few interesting things about it. Like, for example, there's a song called it's by Garbage. I'm only happy when it rains. You know that song? No. And
I don't listen to Garbage.
Okay. And I was just nice. And I never got into the song, like it just it wasn't for me,
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I kind of roll my eyes, but I'll learn it, I'll play it. And I feel real sassy when I play it. I really get down on it. I really enjoy playing it. I kind of wanted to learn what's it called? Green Day's Novocaine.
Okay. And
I learned it and I'm bored with it.
Right.
And then there's a few other songs like the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Gold Lion.
Okay.
I love that song. It's so fun. I never heard it before. Until I met this group of people, and it's a lot of fun, and they're a crazy group.
Right. Yeah, I was playing in that reggae band, and we were doing a lot of covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the first time I've ever played covers.
Nice.
I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was my first time playing covers too. You know,
and how'd you meet these guys?
You know what? It was a Facebook ad.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I needed to play again. I hadn't played for a while, and I really just needed to play. And so
you drive out to where?
Pretty much like around the Martinez area.
Oh shit!
But when we play shows and stuff, it's gonna be in like
hardcore Bay Area.
Yeah, East Bay and shit.
Like,
yeah,
dang.
yeah. You know,
that's cool. You guys are gigging or what?
We're very soon.
Yeah,
it's coming up soon. Yeah,
but not yet.
Not yet. No. The drummer gigs a lot in his band Swerve.
Swerve.
Yeah. The guitarist has another band, the Midnight Brothers. They just got signed. Not the Midnight Brothers. The Midnight Brothers.
Who signed them?
I'm not sure.
Like with a pen or a Sharpie? Nobody gets signed anymore. Just put songs on YouTube.
That's
SoundCloud.
when I first met him.
SoundCloud.
And that's what he was talking about. Never really asked, you know.
And that Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got all big like that.
Yeah.
And what's his bone? Post Malone.
Oh yeah.
Stoney.
Huh?
It's Stoney, so like his nickname.
Oh, is it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Hey,
Dude, I
Stoney?
think he's actually a pretty good musician.
You know,
Actually,
I hate
yes.
to admit it, but yeah, I
Yes.
like him.
Well,
I
I just watched this thing where he did the Dave Grohl's
Mhm.
sort of something. I thought some tribute, but he did Rage Against the Machine.
He did Nirvana.
Yeah.
He did
The Rage Against the Machine was really good.
Sublime, I think.
Was it Sublime?
I'm not sure.
I
I
don't
saw
know.
a few of them.
Yeah,
on
I just
YouTube.
saw 2 of the songs.
This is really good.
Only
Yeah.
one of them was a Rage. I don't remember the other 2.
I mean,
Nirvana.
like aside from whatever he's actually putting out, he's
Right.
actually a really good singer.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you can give him credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a song playing on the radio, and I was like, who the fuck is this? And I looked it up, and I was like, oh, God damn it, I like Post Malone.
So actually,
All right.
That's
my
exactly
story,
how I found him.
but my story's the exact opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
You saw his face first.
Yeah, and I fell in love. No.
That
My-
is not a face you fall in love with, bro.
If it's only a mother can love.
Yeah.
Not even.
No, my wife and I were driving to Hollywood, and the DJ on the radio had said we're gonna play a Post Malone song with somebody else, and I can't remember, something Flowers or something like that.
Sunflower.
So I think it was, and I wasn't a fan of it, and
Such a good song, though.
and you know, honestly, I only heard things about him. I never actually heard him, and his what was it? I heard he was a rapper, and I was like, this isn't really rap though to me. I am old school though, so I kind of waited. So after the song was done, I talked about it with my wife, and I was like, okay, well, I just didn't like it, And then one day I saw him on a commercial actually, and the rap was kind of cool. And then I YouTubed him because I was bored. I saw some of the videos you were talking about with him doing some of the cool covers, and
Right.
so I started listening to some of his raps. I'm like, yeah, this guy is pretty badass,
Yeah.
And so I'm glad I fell through that rabbit hole right there,
Right.
I was like, may have not liked him, So
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just heard a song on the radio and looked him up, and I was like, I fucking like
Shit.
this dude. So I started looking for stuff, and then you see the cover songs that he does,
Yeah.
like just an acoustic.
They're
He's just
great,
playing
yeah.
an acoustic song and singing. I was like, all right, all right. You
Yeah.
look funny, but all right, but hey, whatever.
What about that little 69?
What? Takashi?
Tekashi 6.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
It's like Takashi bitch 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's totally in protective custody.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he's snitching.
Oh, shit. Well,
Yeah.
you're not always snitching if you're in protective custody. I did time in protective custody, and
Yeah.
I was not a snitch.
Well, I got this fascination with prisons, right? And so I watch a lot of prison shows, and
Like-
there's this dude. He was on Locked Up Abroad. Have you seen that?
So
Yeah.
good.
Right. So one of the guys was Sean Atwood. He was a British guy.
Okay.
And he was like an ecstasy dealer here in America, and he got busted and served time. And so now he has a YouTube channel to where he talks about his time.
Mm-hmm.
He talks to other prisoners. He brings them in. They talk about things and, you know, what's prison going to be like for Bill Cosby? What's prison going to be like for Tekashi 6ix9ine?
Yeah.
You know, and then so there's that guy, and then there's another thing called After Prison Show.
Okay.
And it's just another guy that went to prison, and then now he does this, like, he'll do prison recipes, you know, prison pizza.
Okay, yeah.
He'll talk about other things, and he'll also talk about, you know, what's going to happen to Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I watch all these prison things, and so every time someone famous, you know, gets locked up, they're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they both think that Tekashi 6ix9ine is snitching.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, that's like the meme that he's like, that he's snitching. Like they have like, you know, like on Twitter and stuff, it'll be like a picture of him like in court, and he's like, oh, but I gave you, you know, like those like ladies who got busted for paying to get their kids into college.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like the caption will be like,
the
well,
Full
I
House
give you so and so, and
there's got to be, I don't know. He just did some nasty shit, you know, filming that dude fucking that girl or whatever, you know.
What did he go jump on?
I don't know all the charges that he's facing, but one of them I know is that some dude was like banging some underage girl, and he was filming it.
Oh shit!
You know, so
that's child porn.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's good
basically.
to see like it's kind of like starting to like people are starting to, like famous people and stuff, they're starting to get in trouble for that now, you know.
Right.
And it's good to see that. Like,
oh yeah, that's totally like they're kind of opening up with the church. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
the church is actually starting to take that shit seriously
Instead of just like moving their priests around.
Yeah, which is
you got the
bullshit.
You got the
know
R.
what I mean?
Kelly thing going on.
Right.
Like people are starting to like
well,
finally.
like Harvey Weinstein got taken down.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
R. Kelly's, you know, facing, you know, charges. Bill Cosby got, you know, convicted. So all these people that were doing horrible shit for decades are finally like getting their comeuppance, and it's great. I mean, it sucks that it took so long.
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
the new one with the massage parlor? You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about? With those politicians?
No, it was like a sports manager of some kind.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, some like
Oh.
football
I
or
misunderstood.
something, or right?
I haven't heard about it.
Pretty sure it's like the manager of some team.
I thought it was some
If it's the
politician.
one that I'm like thinking of, like that he was like, what's it called? Soliciting at a massage parlor.
I don't know. That just seems like.
It seems like a very politician thing to
It
do.
does.
Yeah, I mean, if it's. Wow, I just misinterpreted because I didn't know who the fuck the dude was.
Random
You know,
white
they're-
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, random white dude, and they're all mad at him for getting a hand job at a massage parlor. I'm like. I mean, for a politician, yeah, you're like, oh, that's fucking terrible. But for a sports manager, you're like, yeah, okay, and like what? You can pay this girl to rub your feet, but well, what? I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I think should be perfectly fine to do whatever you want with it.
I mean, it's just people take such a negative view of like sex work and sex workers that it's like, oh, it's still this like super taboo thing. You can't sell your body, but I mean, any other job, you're technically selling your body. You're
Right.
just not engaging in sex.
But you can give it away for free.
Yeah.
And then you have the bad apples out there that ruin it for everybody.
Yeah, that do
You
horrible,
know.
horrible things.
Exactly. You know, who maybe a hand job just isn't enough, so they go crazy, or I don't fucking know how they think or what they do, but you know what I mean, like, you know.
I don't know. I don't think those dudes are going to
You're probably
to like
right.
massage parlors. They're
You're
probably going to
probably
like back alley hookers. You know what I mean? I remember one time going through San Francisco and driving. I couldn't really see them, but when I parked and was walking, I could see them hiding from the cops. You know, because they're all ducked down behind the cars, and you're just like, oh well, I guess those are prostitutes. What was odd is that they were all hot. I was like, oh my god, that's like those aren't like Merced prostitutes. They actually have teeth.
Well, I mean, they're charging San Francisco prices.
I bet, man. I mean, I had.
And what are San Francisco prices?
Well, not that I know.
But you know.
Well, I had a girlfriend that worked at the Bunny Ranch.
Okay.
In Carson City, I think it was Carson City, and she charged like $1,000 an hour, like $500 for a half hour. That was crazy. Yeah, she was hottie too.
I had a neighbor whose wife would go hit the streets couple days a week.
Yeah.
And he knew about it. He was fine with it. You know, they had their rules that they did and stuff like that. Yeah, to each their own.
That's fucking gross, dude.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd have my wife do that.
That's fucking gross.
I don't know if I'd have my wife ever do that, but yeah.
No,
to each their own. That's what they do.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
I was out in Pomona, California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was in Pomona?
Yeah, when I was living in Pomona.
So
my
that's
neighbor.
Like LA area.
Yeah.
That's even nastier, dude.
Yeah.
That's even nastier. Like Merced, it's just like some local diseases and shit. You know? But in LA, you got some exotic shit going on in LA.
This is you. High five.
It's cool. We already
some
got it.
Ebola AIDS.
I know.
E. coli AIDS. It's like all mixed together.
Yeah.
Just like this stew pot.
That's awesome.
Imported from around the world. Yeah. I'll pass on all that.
Yeah.
No prostitution for me. Thank you.
I remember going to hit the strip clubs in Vegas for my bachelor party. I went in the VIP room and all that, and it was a lot of fun. And I was just doing the traditional thing, and I did run into some prostitutes. And the one thing I noticed was from the stripper to the prostitute, they all had the exact same lines. You know, you only live once. You know, I tell Mom, I'm getting married in a week, you know, or 2 weeks. Your wife doesn't have to know. She doesn't have to know. You only live once. And, you know, just, it was all the same lines, you know. Like,
You just want your money, dude.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm cool on all that. I went to one strip club one time, just so you know. We're working out of town, and the group of dudes I was working with, they all wanted to go, and I'm like, fuck, all right, I'll get a hamburger or something, you know. So I'm eating this fucking nasty ass strip club hamburger. Nobody goes for the hamburgers, dude. Trust me.
I've never eaten at a strip club.
And this chick put her hand on my shoulder, and I was like, dude, I'm going to punch you in the fucking face if you don't stop touching me right now. Like, seriously, no. I just saw you fucking rubbing all over that big old fat sweaty dude.
You would like some of my strip club stories.
No, I'm not really.
Yeah.
I mean, cool. More power to you. Want to do it? I don't think, you know, if you want to do it, that's fine. If you want to go watch it, that's fine. But it's just not for me.
I walked into a strip club one time, and this lady came up to me and took off my hat. I had a leather jacket on, took that off, put it on, went up on stage, did her dance, did some little hat trick thing, gave it back to me, gave me a free dance later. It was really cool.
Wow.
Well, I mean, at least you got something in return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought her a drink and tipped her, of course, you know, and, you know, it was just real fun.
Yeah, I don't like people touching me that I don't know.
Usually don't like that either. Yeah. I really don't.
And the older I get, the worse it gets.
Really?
Yeah, because it's older people, you know, and I'm like, damn, you got 46 years. You know, I'm 46, so I got 46 years of life all piled on me, and that's just like walking through life for 46 years. You just collect more shit than a 26-year-old, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, and then somebody who's even slightly promiscuous at all, that fucking shit adds up. You know,
I'll be 39 in June.
When you kiss somebody, you're kissing all the people that they kissed.
God, that's such a.
Come on, you guys are microbiologists. You know this is true.
Well, the other thing that's true is like you're constantly shedding like the outside layer of your body, like all your skin cells are falling off. So technically, you're shedding all the other people who's ever
your
touched you.
taste buds die every 10
I think it's just like
days.
a psychological thing more than.
Well, it's not the outside that's really the problem. It's when you get inside.
Your body's also really good at cleansing all that stuff out too.
And then
Unless you
you
have
should
something
be helping your
permanent.
body stay clean as well.
Right.
You know, and unless that thing's permanent, then
that's what I'm
go
talking
to the
about.
Unless
doctor.
it's like, you get some sort of like retrovirus that encodes itself into your genome, then it's there forever.
You know, a strip club can be a great safe place. It really can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very soothing and therapeutic.
It really can be. Like, I mean, I think strip clubs, there's people forget the meaning behind it. Like, you know.
What's the meaning?
Yeah.
Because I don't even know the meaning, let alone have forgotten it.
Like for me, it's always been like this. Like take the really shy guy who's just scared to death of talking to females. All right. And he goes out to the bars all the time or whatnot, and he just, he either strikes out all the time or he's just too shy to even engage.
Okay.
And then he goes to the strip club, and the ladies approach him. Please stay smart and know it's about your money always. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's a game changer. It can, these ladies are flirting with him. They're engaging him. They're boosting his confidence up, and then, regardless what happens after that, maybe he can learn something from that and then go out to the bar with his friends and maybe have that confidence to just at least strike up a conversation. Maybe not fall in love and kumbaya and all that,
Advice right now.
But,
don't go looking for love in a bar. That's just not gonna. That's a terrible place to go. Looking
and then, definitely. But then, or there's the other stories that you hear about, couples later on in life just checking it out, and it, sparks or spices something up in their love life, and you do it safe and, have fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just it's like super sexual to me,
Yeah.
and I'm just not really comfortable with being or being sexual at all in public.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a very personal and private thing.
I love public sex.
Yeah, well, you were in it.
Well, you can get some for private shows, right?
This is true. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Since they deleted the personals ads on Craigslist, I don't know. But yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know. Just not into that. I don't know how I've ever gotten a girlfriend. I've always been shy around women.
I have too.
And they've just, I don't know. It just happened. I mean, I have kids. Obviously, something happened, but I have no idea. I mean, Sarah did ask me to marry her.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My wife.
I said yes.
Hinted on it often.
Yeah.
And then I finally proposed, and asking her for her dad's permission was more romantic than asking her for her hand.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
You went like the whole old school thing, like actually going to the father.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And
Well, I mean, dude, that's not even old school. That's just smart. Like, because you're going to be like, because this is the guy who's got her ear. You know what I mean? If dad doesn't like the dude, then it's just going to be, that's a hard, long life.
Exactly.
You don't want.
Well, at least,
yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I guess it depends on how valuable the dad is to the girl.
It's true.
Best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be in with the,
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's just polite.
So,
more than anything.
We were driving down the street, and I'm thinking, okay, well, we got to just ask him, And so I was about to ask him, and then that stupid song comes on the radio, that one asking the father to marry me.
Oh, the rude song?
Yeah. And I'm just like...
What is it?
It's like the why you gotta be so rude.
Why do you gotta be so rude?
I'm gonna marry her anyway.
Yeah,
right. Okay.
And I was like, this is just too corny, too ironic,
Like-
Yeah, so we were actually headed to a movie together. And so we watched that Hercules movie. And then on the way out, we're walking. And I go, hey, let me ask you something. And he gets a phone call. And a lot of people are coming out of the theater. And he goes, let me take this call real quick. He takes the call. And so I reach in my pocket, I grab out the ring and all that shit. And he gets off the phone, and I go, can I have your daughter's hand in marriage, And I showed him the ring, and they're very close.
Right.
He wasn't there for his first daughter's marriage, so this was hella important to him, because I wanted to bounce and just get the shit done
Well,
months
he's gotta
ago.
pay for it.
Yeah, and so he's crying. I'm like this,
Oh my
you know.
God.
I look across the street and there's people like, oh, you know? And I'm just like, you know, and he's like, yes, and he's giving me a hug and stuff, you know. As my wife, we go to a restaurant. I'm trying to like make it romantic, but the service was terrible. The food was terrible.
What restaurant do you go to?
It was actually where the place we went to today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's always hit and miss, you know. And so like, so I'm like, okay, I'm not satisfied with this, you know. So I take her out to this spot that I always thought was pretty out by Bear Creek,
Right.
Applegate Park and all that, and it was just real dead and blah. I'm like, fuck, you know. And so I said, well, I got to get it done anyways, and so. You know, I as romantically as I possibly could, I asked her, you know, for her hand, got down on hand, knee, and all that stuff, okay? And so we're driving home, and, you know, she tells me, I saw the bulge in your pants the whole time. I knew you were going to ask me. And I was just like, I couldn't get anything to go right, you know? But, you know, not even thinking about it, it was the most romantic thing ever with her dad, you know?
No, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4th of July. It was at Brett and Patrice's house in Atwater. And I was going to light off a bottle rocket. And I went to go light it, and everyone's like, no. I'm like, what the fuck you did? They're like, look. And there was a ring on it. And Sarah was
shit.
like, will you marry me? I was like,
Oh,
oh my God. I was like,
That's
all
awesome.
right. Yeah, it was pretty cool, dude.
Yeah.
You know. But
Yeah.
didn't last long.
But some of my girlfriends approached me. I approached some of them. You know,
Right.
just a normal amount, you know.
Well, how do you do it?
how do
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
like
You're like,
Look
put you
at the
on spot.
camera.
I'm just kidding. I just totally did. I totally put the camera on you. I was like, so how do you do it? No, you're not married yet?
no.
No.
Came very close with my last relationship, but
Yeah.
you know that kind of fizzled out,
Yeah.
and now
You're like, no. Yeah.
nah. I
Cool,
mean,
working
I've
on
seen
the
like
career.
how like my siblings' relationships have gone,
Yeah.
and I mean, while they're still together, they shouldn't be. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll,
See,
But you don't have to be that way.
yeah, I'll wait for a
you know.
bit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just like, I need to be cool. That's it. I don't want to be arguing with anybody.
Mhm.
Young, like,
Mhm.
dude, I just don't got the fucking energy. I just
Yeah.
don't fucking care. You know
I
what I
can
mean?
barely please myself, let alone make
And
someone else happy.
Yeah.
It's just a
no,
piece
I
of
can totally
paper.
please myself.
Really. I mean,
I'm
like,
excellent at it.
real marriage is when you're living together.
Yeah.
You know, that's marriage
Mhm.
right there.
Right.
Not walking down the aisle and having a priest and getting that
now,
license.
see,
and
my
all
whole
that.
philosophy was that the real marriage was the kid.
The kid. Okay, I can see
Yeah,
that.
because it's
Yeah, because you are,
taking half of her and half of me, and we're like,
yeah.
boom.
There.
and
Boom.
you will be
New person.
partnering, you know, for life. You know.
Yeah,
Um,
and there's nothing we could. There's
Yeah.
no breaking up in the kid.
Yeah,
You can't
exactly.
Rip it in half and everything. so,
Exactly.
I mean, you could. You just go to jail
yeah. Well, yeah. It'd be
unless they don't find the
it'd be
body.
terrible. But yeah, that's how that was the real marriage. Is we planned my son's
Mhm.
pregnancy. So at least I have that. No, she's cool. Like I said, she lives next door. And
You know.
it's one of my best friends. Just not my best wife. My only wife. But yeah,
This will be my only wife,
yeah.
work or not. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be my only wife. You know.
That's the mother of your
The
child.
mother of my. I have two children.
2 children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
My first son was a happy mistake.
A happy mistake, right?
Happy accident, however you want to call it, you know.
Okay, Bob Ross over here.
Right, right. Just a happy little
I
accident.
fucking love him, though. You know, I really do.
What's his name? You want to give out that information?
Whitley. Let's call him Whitley.
Whitley?
Yeah, that's his name, Whitley.
Cool.
You know.
And then
and
number
then-
2 came along?
Yeah, number 2, we planned out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the age difference?
I
then?
2
2 years?
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, that's pretty much everyone
Yeah.
says the good time.
And I had both. I had a name picked out for him
Right.
before even conceived, and so did my wife. But for her,
Blade. What was his name?
Bo Bradley.
Bo Bradley.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Trying to make him a rock star or what?
yeah,
Either that or a quarterback.
he already is.
Quarterback?
No, rock star.
He's a rock star.
Yeah, he.
Why not both?
I try to play football with him all the time. He likes to run with the ball, but that's the only concept he has so far. So he's getting
There's
it,
time.
He's 3, So and then it's called he loves my ukulele. He loves my drums. He likes when I play guitar.
Nice. How old is he?
He loves the piano. 3.
3?
Yeah. My other son.
So early.
Not so much.
No.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, Bo Bradley just gravitates toward it, which was funny because Whitley, I named him after bloodlines. His real name is Whitman Mendeville Baker.
Okay.
Whitman is
That's that's like an evil villain.
yeah.
He's
Whitman
like,
is
thank you, Dad.
her father's bloodline, and then the Mendeville Baker is the bloodline I come from. That was my Mendeville was my grandmother's maiden name.
Okay.
And so and then I'm a baker. So,
right.
And then Bo Bradley, I named him after
Bo Bradley Baker.
music.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
I was always thinking about Bo.
Right.
But I always liked Bradley, and honestly, that did come from Sublime. I listen to a lot of Sublime and stuff. I'm a huge Rancid fan. I was listening to what's it called? Honor Is All We Know by Rancid.
Okay.
And there's a lyric where he says, let the arrow leave the bow. And I was kind of thinking about Bo before, but it kind of slipped through my mind.
B-O-W?
Beau.
Oh, bow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like my bow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's was it Bo Diddley,
Right.
and then Bradley Noel, and so I was like, yeah, fuck it,
Right. Well, the thing is, he's got to be a musician first, because then everything he does after that's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you can't do acting first and then go music, because that's usually it's not very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, one way it's
J-Lo?
cool. J-Lo? I
J-Lo.
don't know.
She's more of a general entertainer.
Tim Armstrong kind of.
Well, she was definitely a musician
cool
first,
stuff.
wasn't she?
Well,
Or
she was a
one of the-
dancer. She was one of the Fly Girls. And then she did Selena.
Yeah.
And then she did her music career.
Yeah. But look at Henry Rollins.
Yeah, he was in a band first.
Yeah, and then now he's on a lot of TV shows.
Yeah.
And then Tim Armstrong, he's on.
I mean, Justin
TV
Timberlake,
shows.
right?
Yeah, Justin Timberlake.
I mean, I liked him in
Wait.
that In Time.
Yeah.
Isn't that movie? Remember the movie about the time?
Oh, that
thing
was a
with the-
great movie. Yeah,
I know, right?
That was.
That's
a
why
great
I was
movie.
just like,
Never
after
seen
the
that.
movie, I didn't notice it was Justin Timberlake.
It was
until
think of like
afterwards.
Bonnie and Clyde, but futuristic, and
Okay.
like
What? Bonnie and Clyde.
yeah, because his
I
girlfriend.
mean, I guess.
And like,
You've
but
never seen that movie?
instead of Jack and
No.
Money.
They get like when they turn 25, a timer starts on their arm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I remember like the
and then
trailers
when
for
they
it.
run out of time,
Yeah.
they die.
And you don't
So
age
you can
after
work
that.
for time, you can trade time, all this
Yeah.
shit, and so
That's currency and everything.
But there's
Yeah.
it's poor people and all the way up to rich people
Yeah.
have like 1,000,000 years worth of life.
So they start robbing like rich people in banks, and
And then giving
they
out
start
time.
just giving out time to everybody.
Try to rebalance
Yeah.
everything.
So like Robin Hood.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but with like time.
Basically.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it's him and his girlfriend, and they're the outlaws. But yeah, kind of not. I guess.
Well,
the cops are after him.
this guy gives him a bunch of time
Okay.
and then kills himself.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right? And so then these cops start chasing him around and shit because they have video of this guy killing himself, but you can see him just falling off this bridge, and then they see dude run up.
Yeah.
They just, I don't know, connect
Okay.
with whatever.
Mm.
And so he has all this time, so he goes up to the rich, and you have to pay to get to the rich. Like there's like gates and shit. And you got to pay to get through each gate.
Like Hunger Games, how they have the
the different districts.
Right.
Yeah,
so
districts,
he gets up and he goes and he like gambles and gets like a shitload more time. And he's like super rich now. And and then he meets this girl and he ends up like the cops come and find him at this party. And so he kidnaps the girl and then they start hanging out and then they
Like
and then her dad.
No, because her dad
her dad's hella rich.
Well, he's like, he tries to prove a point to her, like your dad ain't gonna fucking do shit,
Yeah.
And so he holds her for ransom, and her dad doesn't pay it.
Yeah.
And so then
she gets hella
on
mad
board.
and jacks him for like hella time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Who was that famous kidnapping in the 70s of a super rich Patty Hearst? Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
She got kidnapped, and then she was like robbing banks with the group that kidnapped her.
Right. Yeah. Stockholm syndrome kind
Yeah.
of shit.
Yeah.
Who was the girl who got kidnapped in Antioch
In Antioch.
for like hella years?
I don't know.
You remember
I
that?
don't know.
Like, it was hella crazy because like I have family out there, and my sister and my dad were driving out there, and they stopped at a 7-Eleven, and said this lady who looked like she may have been on drugs or something came
Right.
up asking for help and stuff like that, and my dad gave her some money and said like you can make a phone call or something like that, and they took off, and it ended up being her. That was the day she got out.
Wow.
Yeah, like escaped out and stuff like that.
Crazy.
Was she kidnapped with like 2 other girls? Or was it just her?
I think it was just her, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
I think it was just her. I think the two other girls.
This isn't ringing a bell to me at
Yeah,
all. I have
I
no
could be
idea.
tripping. I can't
Like,
remember. Yeah.
no.
Can't remember. I don't even know why I came up.
It was like kidnap people. I don't know. Why are we talking?
Kidnappings? Yeah.
Well, it happens.
Unfortunately.
Right. So anyway, let's wrap this shit up, man.
All
We've been
right.
talking for a while now.
Okay.
So what is it? Light your Bunsen burner?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's about science and cool
Science
stuff.
and history.
Science history.
You're trying to find the twist.
Yep.
Always
Try to find like
the
the
twist.
The side
secret
story.
little story
Yeah.
underneath it all.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got a website, or where do you guys
Yeah.
upload to?
So you can visit our website at bunsenburnerpod.com. You can find us on, Anchor FM/bunsenburnerpod, or you can find us on Apple iTunes, Spotify. That's where you can listen to our podcast. You can email us also at bunsenburnerpod@gmail.com.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have Jonah send me all these links,
Cool.
and then I'll put them in the description below.
All right. Sounds cool. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, cool. So go check it out.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We try to keep it very informative and goofy.
Yeah.
right.
So,
Very
Yeah.
goofy.
yeah.
Yeah,
very
that's
goofy.
cool. Yeah, I've listened to a couple of them.
We're getting the hang of it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. You guys don't want to do video or no video?
I don't. Oops.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't have the face for video.
I'm
Sure you
kind
do.
of
Look at how beautiful that face is.
I'm kind of done with video actually. But what I see is like pictures of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be on.
Well,
us
yeah.
all the
See,
time.
I could totally teach you how to do that because
Okay.
every button that I push here,
Yeah.
right? I could go use every key to create a whole different scene, right?
Okay.
So you can pre-upload your essay. Well, here, I'll do that. I'll tell you off. So anyway,
Okay.
we're out of here.
Bye
Thanks
bye.
for joining us. Go listen to their podcast too. And thanks.
Thank you.
All right.